everyone. Welcome back to we're listening to the Crazy Sexy Cool podcast, where we give our black ass millennial opinions about the crazy and the sexy and the cool hot topics. I'm your host Bethany, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, my homies.
What's up? Sorry,
we got Meek and Elizabeth here.
And I was too excited. I was so excited.
So I'm really excited because I feel like we did an extra show this week. We were on the Toxic Hour. Toxic. Yeah. So big thanks to Gab, Alan, Randy, for having us on their show. It was just really dope to kind of partner up with another Vegas podcast, and the fact that there are three guys, to kind of match us three and our energy, and they talk just as much shit as we do.
Yeah,
that shit was fun.
No, it was fun. Yeah. And for the listeners, it's actually pretty dope, how they got their stuff set up. It's actually a radio show. They have yet to actually convert it over to a podcast, but Gab said that it was in the making. But the whole setup was just so dope. I love working with people who got their shit together. You know what I mean? Or where you come in a production and you be like, damn, I wish we had a clubhouse in the back of Bethany's house. We can convert into a sound room.
Yeah, and it was just a really dope space. Of course they provided, had a few drinks. But me, I'm still dry, so no shots for me.
And best believe, I did try to
Bethany.
I tried to come at you, and she stood strong, y'all. She stood strong.
I brought no doubt. Thugged it out. I mean, I don't really miss drinking, but I like the social aspect of it. And of course, drinking kind of loosens you up a bit to, talk freely. But that wasn't a problem for us, because one of the topics we were just going on and on, where we could have honestly recorded a 4-hour show if we wanted to. But the topic that really just got us going, well, it was more so towards the end when we started talking about, it's a very sensitive topic in the black male community when it comes to sex, and that is ass play. And
isn't that called
what is it called?
I just heard it on Horrible Decisions. It's called Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodomy. Yeah.
And Alan was talking about how he worked with a guy who was just openly discussing how him and his lady had matching butt plugs. And it's always interesting to have this conversation with black men, because I know men personally who, if you even think about, if you stare at their ass too long, they're like, what you doing?
Yeah. super scared.
I had men cringe, if I'm with them and you rubbing their back, and say you do that long rub down the back, and it just kind of tinkles across not tinkles, but caress across the curve of their ass. They're like, oh, you're getting a little bit too close. I'm like, bruh,
why you freaking out?
Relax all your muscles. What the hell?
We had a good conversation, because a lot of people associate, well, I guess the main question was, if your girl I guess uses a strap or a toy or whatever on a man's ass, does that make him gay? And our whole thing was you're having sex with a woman, so that's not gay. How is that gay if you're literally doing this with a woman? Gay. If you were doing it with a man, sure, that's gay sex. But
yeah, that's gay sex. But I guess also I was telling the boys, the main reason why I always go in on this is that, and I believe we said on the show before, I just don't think that men, especially black men, have the privilege to explore their sexuality as freely as women do. And I guess my whole thing is it's okay for you to be against anal play. I'm not saying oh, this is something you gotta do, but to make it a hard no without having without ever exploring it in any kind of way, like, you know, to the point where it's like, oh, don't grab there, or don't. I'm like, yo, like, have you ever thought like to the root as to why you feel that way? You know?
Yeah. Even for me though, I feel like you know, finding out new things that I like during sex. I used to have huge no's on things that I haven't even tried yet. Now I've tried it and I'm like, oh yeah. That's a yes. That's a yes.
Right. That's a yes. Right.
Can you give us an example, Elizabeth? What was a hard no before that kind of turned into a yes?
Spitting was one.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to be like, are you fucking kidding me? You go spill me?
Yeah.
Like, no. I used to be like, no. And then like somebody got bold and just did it, and I was like, what the fuck? And I liked it. I don't know.
And he was like, oh.
Maybe it was really drunk.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What's up?
That was a hard no for me, because I've heard like my homegirls talk about it. I'm like, spit in the mouth? What the fuck? Like
this.
At what point is that even how does that even happen until it literally happened to me? And I was like, oh, this shit is lit.
And it's not just like it's like
it's a
slow drip.
Wait.
You don't like that? You don't like that? Okay, I like.
Give me more detail. It's a what?
It's like a, you know, you gotta let it glide in there. Like, it's not like, you know, you're not spitting on them. Spitting on me.
Wait, spitting on you or like in your mouth?
In the mouth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, extra.
No, that's not extra, because I haven't had that before.
Okay.
I had it where it's like a small, like
yeah, like
when people
like a spider web, like, you know,
ruling on you.
See, when people talk about spitting in the mouth, they just think it's just like that Pumpkin did to New York on Play for Love.
And that's disgusting because it got
snarky.
No,
that
was a loogie.
It's
like,
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that.
No, it's more sensual. It can be sexy if done the right way.
Sensual. Right. What kind of spit y'all dealing with? Oh my god!
But that's the whole thing. Because you know what? I was listening back to an episode that we talked about how that guy said he doesn't kiss during sex. So he's definitely not with that type of shit. So, but if done the right way, it's a very intimate thing to do. So you have to be like really in tune with whoever you're sleeping with for that to even happen and be accepted.
But y'all like talking about spit. I never thought of spit play like this, where it's like a nigga's drooling on you and you're like catching the spit. I never thought, because like I've had someone spit on me, like, and I have someone spit in my mouth, but it was more
pause. You said you had someone spit on you?
Like your vagina.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like spit on me.
In your face.
No, hell no. We ain't doing that.
Look, we is not doing that.
We're not doing that. Like, no, because now I'm not only like, it's gonna make me question like your past, like, nigga, like,
you okay?
What have you been through to where you want to go around and just like spit loogies in motherfucker's face and think it's sexy, like, but I spitting thing is a dominant and submissive, you know, that it's that kind of play. And so when a dude did it to me, like, you know, it was like grabbed me by the neck, damn near choked the shit out of me, and was like, open your mouth, and like spit in my mouth. And I was like, oh my god, where else you want to spit? You can spit anywhere.
I like it a lot.
Yes, come on. Yeah, it was like that. But as in like,
that's lit too. I've had that happen too.
Right,
yeah,
but also like, how juicy are these lips where like they like drooling into like where they just like
salivating.
Just know what he's doing
in the mouth. What? Yeah,
it happens.
And I guess like when it comes down to sexual exploration, my whole thing, I'm not trying to say like in order for you to know if you like straight up anal penetration, you need to be pounded. I'm not saying that, but like at least open yourself up to shit. Do it on yourself, you know? Or if you're like, yo, I don't even like, I've tried anal with a girl and I don't even like doing it on a girl. Like I'm not with it. But
wait, you did it to her, or she did it to you?
No, I'm not saying me. I'm saying just in as an example, because I've had that conversation with a guy where
the perv jumped out.
Yeah, the perv, right? No, and just so y'all know, I have not done anal with a girl. No, I have not done that.
But you've done anal.
Oh yeah, I've done anal, and I ain't gonna even lie though. Like, and I want to know if any other women felt this way. First off, it's a certain way to do it. So to all y'all motherfuckers out there that's thinking that you can treat the cat like you can treat the back door like you treat the cat. You can't fucking do that. Like, certain rules apply. Bitch has to be lubricated. You have to take your time, and there's baby steps. Okay, so y'all watch way too much motherfucking porn, thinking that you can just ram your fucking dick in the back door. That's not dry and shit. It doesn't work that way, dude. Second, like, if you're not willing to put your finger in there, don't put your dick in there. That's just my thoughts on that. Like, gotta start somewhere. But when I did it, I don't do it often. When I did it, I was
I usually don't do this, but
it's not even because I don't want to. It's just the way the body's set up. You know, sometimes you be all hot and into it, and then you get back there, and the ass is like, no, bitch, not tonight. We ain't shit coming up in here. Like, but right. But while it was happening, I had this thought, like, am I supposed to be enjoying this? Like, I'm like,
I thought that before too.
I was like, bro, this shit feels fucking amazing. Like, but this thought was like, it's because it's not quote unquote normal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not considered. So I'm like,
it's a lot of shame. It's a lot of shame.
Yeah, that's tied to it. So I was like, am I supposed to be enjoying this? And then it makes you question your partner, especially if he likes the back door more than he likes the cat, you know?
Right.
Like, yeah. So,
Bethany.
So, what?
Have you tried it?
I have tried it. It's not my thing.
You don't like it?
I mean, no, I just really couldn't. I couldn't warm up in that moment. I just really couldn't get into it. But
did you know it was happening, or was it off guard?
No, it was an off guard moment, and I'm just like, maybe had I had a moment to like prepare for it, and maybe had more to drink and like loosen up a bit,
right,
a bit more lubricated. Yeah, so it's not like I don't want to try it again. It was just that one time that I did try it. I was just like, okay, I don't know if I like this or not. I'll have to try it again to see if this is something that. But that's the thing about like having hard nose, and I just don't understand how there's a lot of people who have their hard nose, like you said, Elizabeth, that you had never even tried before. Mm-hmm. But I think people should, explore a little bit more, because their hard nose may really be like some fun shit that they would actually prefer.
Ever.
Yeah. Like, ever. Again.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because I have a lot of my girlfriends would be like, bitch, if you do it like this, or try this toy to kind of warm you up. Yep. I'm just like, okay, so like there's levels to it. Okay. Yeah.
Definitely levels.
Yeah. So my hard no that turned into a yes was spitting. So,
it was spitting?
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Meek?
I don't want to, because spitting was one of mine too, where I was like, I thought I was like, no.
Or do you still have any hard?
I've had a hard yes turn into a no. I'll share that.
Wow. Explain.
Girl on girl. I would never, like, I'm not gonna say I would never, but I'm just on some, like, I just love dick way too much.
Okay.
Like, and then to be honest, like, I've tried it, and like, I was just not satisfied. You know, when you go to those fancy restaurants and they bring out a small ass serving on the plate, and you like, how the fuck am I gonna get full off of that? That's how it was for me, where I was like, so this is all we do, and I'm like, fuck, I could do this shit at home by myself and do it right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you busy like, can you feel me now? How about now? Just like, like, So that's like I would definitely need some meat in there somewhere.
Yeah,
sausage gotta be up in that thing.
Gotta be up in that thing.
Yeah, I don't have any yeses that turned into no's. I don't think so. If I think of something, I'll share it. But yeah. But yeah, so we had a good ass time. I think we're just gonna make this like a monthly thing where we go and, chop it up with the fellas over at the Toxic Hour. That was fun. But there was a question about ass play that Liz didn't answer. Have you ever been with a guy who's wanted that?
Who wanted ass play?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. All of my guys, they're like the typical black guy, like don't touch my ass, don't touch my ass, don't touch it.
All your Rasta niggas.
I'm building one.
Building.
Yo,
Rasta.
Right.
Team
Monique.
So we're definitely going to get into that. But I also wanted to talk about something. Meek and I kind of discussed some of this after the show. So after the show, we go get some food and then we hot box in my car, just chilling. And Meek and I had this conversation about how us as moms, how we don't really get a break. Yeah. Like we're pretty much like on call 24/7. Like even if we're at work.
You guys ever seen that commercial where it was like the dad was sick or like the mom was sick and then went in there to the kid and was like, no day, like daddy can't take no days off, like pretty much. I don't know, it was like a little commercial, but it was super cute. It was just saying like how
I've never seen that one.
Not daddy, mama.
Mama can't take no days off.
Mama can't take no days off.
Yeah, ain't that something? But because I had shared a meme about how I think you shared it with us, Elizabeth, in the group chat where it was like, if you got 3 or more kids, that shit need to be in your bio.
Yeah.
And I shared it.
That shit was funny.
But I had to flip that around because there's a lot of guys
hiding babies
who got kids and you would never know it based on their online persona. Bruh. And let me tell you how corny that shit is, because if a woman would ever think about not putting her kids out there and on display, we get labeled a bad parent. Mm-hmm. Like we just don't ever have the luxury of acting like we kid free. Even if you could be a hands-on mom 24/7, you don't have no babysitters, you holding everything down. Take one vacation and see how people act like
leave your kid.
Like you're like, oh, where your child at? How come you ain't like, bruh? Look,
people always gonna have something to say. Like even for me, like because I don't have my daughter on Instagram, and I barely post her on my story, but I do post her story only. But people like, you got a kid? Like, oh well, shouldn't you say that? Like, no. If I have a conversation with you, I'll tell you. I have a kid. But other than that, like, I don't have to put her on there if I don't want to. She probably won't be on the internet.
For sure. And it's not even on some like y'all like men need to like. If you don't want to post them on your Instagram, I get that. But I'm talking about like in the mix of conversation, like when you're dating or like when you are dealing with somebody. Like I've had it done multiple times where this one dude lied and said he was like, yeah, I have one child, I have a son. And then fucked up and got comfortable like some time later and like mentioned his daughter. And I was like, wait, excuse me? I was like, excuse me. I was like, I thought you only had a son. Turns out the daughter's actually older than the son. So it's not even like as though like it was like a new, like, and there's no reason why you should deny your kids, but I'm just saying like the daughter was older than the son. So I'm like, and then I ain't gonna lie, like, my father wasn't in my life. So that struck a fucking chord with me. Like you talk about your son, but you don't mention your daughter. And it's by the same woman too. Like,
okay, now what the hell?
That whole thing just did not make sense at all.
Did you ever ask him like why did he do that, or you just kind of peep game and fell back?
I just fell back because he wasn't even a good contender. You know what I'm saying? Like, Like he was just weak altogether. Like he wasn't even worth the investigation. But I don't understand this whole practice of hiding your children. And then also I do not understand this practice of blaming the mother of your child as to why you do not bring your children up. She has nothing to do with that. Your relationship is separate. It's not conjoined. Like your relationship doesn't flow through the baby mama or your ex-wife or so on. You have a direct relationship with your child. Even if you're not able to see your child, you can still speak of your child. Like, just does not make sense at all.
Yeah.
These niggas took that song, Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wife, a little bit too literal. A little bit too literal.
No, that's real. I've dated a guy who hid a child. And yeah, it was really interesting. Once I found out, I was like, bro, I'm out. Like, I can't. Of course, he begged and pleaded, and he tried to give the whole explanation as well. My baby mama, she's this, she's that. Sorry, bruh, I don't give a fuck. So that's no excuse. I don't. Like, that's like me, like women, we just don't have the luxury to do that. Like if I meet a guy and I decide to not tell him that I have a child off the bat, and then they find out, I guess, they find me on social media, like, oh, she has a son. How come she didn't tell me? She must no.
Right.
That
and
means
also
I wasn't trying to open up to you. So you should kind of look at yourself and be like, well, shit, maybe she ain't comfortable with me knowing this because I'll never get to the point where I'm gonna even meet him. So
I mean, but for us, I feel like we've talked about it before on the show. Like, we don't even let guys meet our kids for long periods of time.
And I do think that's
no way.
I do think that's a misconception that, like, you think, like, because I mentioned my child, that, like, I'm looking at you like a stepdaddy. Like, no.
Absolutely not.
Bruh, that shit is so...
It's so annoying.
Because you're a single black mom, a lot of men will just assume, like, you're looking for stepdad.
Yeah,
no,
not
honey.
the case.
No, at all. Because at the end of the day, once again, you have to be well qualified to fit that role. And some of y'all are jacked the fuck up. Y'all got a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of mommy issues, a lot of daddy issues. And I don't need that to be, like, transferred onto my baby.
So let me tell you that is a hard no for me when it comes to dating.
Oh, yeah.
Once I see, like, how I could, like, see you possibly raising your child, if I see that you are biased when it comes to, like, how you raise a boy versus how you raise a girl, if I peep and I just see, like, you are misogynistic, and
no, it could just... Because I know you have to go into it, but because even with the misogynistic thing, it can be as far as, like, I know we were talking about the sex thing of the butt play, but doing certain things like, oh no, that's gay. Like,
bro, that shit is crazy to me, because this is one thing that I had to do with anyone that's in my life. When my son, who is a child, if he is crying, do not tell him not to cry because he's a boy. That is the first way to piss me off. This is my child, especially when my son was, like, really little and he's crying. This is his way of communicating that something's wrong. So let me go and figure out. I'm not going to tell him to shut up or to be quiet or boys don't do that. Like, don't. Because my older brother even tried this with my son. I was like, this is what we're not going to do.
Right.
So that's one thing that it will turn me off. Like, I already see that I can't trust you when it comes to, like, I mean, I will try to, like, show you, like, this is how we do it over here. And if you, like, even if a child, like, acts out, he need his ass beat or blah, blah, blah. No.
We don't do that. We don't do that over here. Like, and also, like, that's another thing that a lot of men don't realize is that whether you have your children, you have your own children or not, I'm gonna say from my experience, a lot of men tend to lead with toxic masculinity as to what they think masculinity should look like. And it's like, no, honey, I need a well-balanced child. I'm raising a child that's able to able to express his emotions, and also able to, and not afraid to tap into his emotions. You know, just because you have that ability doesn't automatically make you soft. Actually, it's a very strong thing to do, because a lot of people are not able to do it. So yeah, it's just like stuff like.
And so we had this conversation too. Remember how you were saying, like, because me and you, Meek, we have sons that people just like, oh, you need to have like a man,
a strong man,
man around.
Yeah.
But if they're bringing the toxicity, however you say it, like, that is honestly,
it's counteractive.
I would much rather not have a guy around instead of having him around that type of energy. No, thank you.
Part. And granted, I'm not trying to sit here and say that like little boys don't, because like it's one of those things where it's like it is good, and it's good for them to see, like, you know, like minded, or like, you know, black men, specifically black men, because we're raising black boys, you know, that are able to show like how to function within healthy relationships, so on and so on. So it is actually really good, but don't think I'm just out here trying to pick any Tom, Dick, and Harry to fill that position, because believe it or not, a lot of you motherfuckers are not fucking qualified. Saying. Just saying. And to be honest, to be able to function within healthy relationships, it doesn't have to be a feminine nor a masculine thing. It's just being a healthy individual, being aware of baggage, knowing how you're set up, knowing what your triggers are, knowing how to communicate, knowing, you know what I mean? Like, knowing how, that's just being a person, period. You know? So like all this, oh, well, you know, a man needs to, and like men don't take baths. The fuck? What type of shit is that?
Who said that?
Man, look.
Men don't take baths.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
That shit don't make sense.
You know, carrying, you know, certain things from your childhood and putting that on children, it can be damaging. So, yeah, when it comes to, God, it's really a hard no for me. So
yeah, no, that's definitely a hard no. But also, it's a hard no if I'm say I'm on a dinner date, and we're talking, and if I even mention my son, like, he cringes. Like, I've seen that, not cringe, but like squirm, or you could tell like the energy can get a little bit awkward. Or they feel uncomfortable, you know, when you mention a child. And it's like, bruh, relax. You have to realize, like, I'm a mother 24 hours out the day. Like, just like how if you own a business, you're probably going to talk about your business, and you're going to talk about the operations of your business. I'm going to talk about my operations as a fucking mother. It's the same shit, you know? In no way am I throwing my responsibilities on you, and vice versa, you know, if you're discussing your business matters. So, you know, I've experienced that where I'm like, oh yeah, no, like I could tell, like you're like, wait, how do I answer? No, I'm good.
Ugh, I don't like that. So let's change the subject real quick. This is our last show. Hopefully, this is our last show under the Trump administration. I would like to know, what do you girls have planned for election day or election night? I don't know how you guys like.
Nothing. I don't. It give me anxiety, so I'm being in the house.
Are you gonna watch
waiting to see what's going on? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
I don't have like a whole candle lighting.
Right. Trying to call on the ancestors. Call on the ancestors and make sure all them ballots are in, right?
Yeah.
But I'm get one of those Jeep candles. Look, I'm not watching none of that shit, dog. I'm gonna do exactly what I did in 2016. I went out, I voted. Me and Prince, we waited in line for a little bit, but we went out in Centennial, casted our vote, came home. And when I tell you, probably like around 6 p.m., I completely disconnected. I turned my phone off. The only thing that I did that was like connected to Wi-Fi, I remember I just went on a binge of How to Get Away with Murder, and Scandal on Netflix. I completely tuned everything out because I just knew I just had a feeling about what was about to happen. And the last thing I want to do is continue to sit here and look at the polls and the results come in, and like my anxiety is just getting worse and worse. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna just watch some fictional TV because that season of Scandal in 2016, it was very like election heavy. And I was like thinking, I would much rather have what's going on in Shondaland and Scandal instead of what we had going on like in real life. So I didn't find out who won until the next day. I woke up Wednesday and I finally turned my phone back on, and I got a DM from someone who was telling me that their son was being bullied at school because Donald Trump won. And this is literally how I found out. I was like, fuck. So I just feel like people are going to be super tense. It's just going to be a lot going on social media and on the news. I just want to completely get away from it all. Yeah, and that's why I voted early, so I don't even have to go.
The attention is definitely high. That's why I'm going to watch it, because like I need to know what the fuck's going on. I mean, I've been seeing, like, of course, it's a lot of conspiracy theories or whatever floating around, but like just seeing how far these people are taking it due to like having different political views is just fucking crazy. And you have all these different groups and stuff that supposedly is planning some type of engagement or activity after the fact. So to be honest, I am going to watch. Well, no, because white supremacists who are it's white supremacists, but it's also it's on both. No, it's on both sides. It's not just all white supremacy. You have radical groups on both sides that are like planning to like either shut Washington down, or like the white supremacy militias that's like talking about it's going to be a civil war. It's on both sides of the aisle. So I'm going to watch it because me and mine, we stayed in the house for the following 2 weeks. Like, I'm not playing with y'all folks. Like, y'all can go out and do what the fuck y'all want to do. But like, I'm not playing with y'all. Don't you try no such shit over here.
I've already done my grocery shopping. You know what I mean? I got what I need here at the crib. Because I mean, I've already been planning for like another round of, us being shut down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but also I definitely like got some extra shit for this week coming up. Because no, thank you. Yeah. Look, there's a guy who lives around the corner from me who has the largest Trump flag attached to the back of his pickup truck, and it's just the most disgusting thing. And he rides around the polling stations, and he's trying to intimidate people. I don't want none of that energy over here. Y'all can look. It feels like Passover. Don't come
right.
fucking
I'm gonna put the blood
by this house.
I'm gonna put the lamb blood. I'm gonna put the blood and just cross it. But yeah,
dog.
Go ahead and get that lamb blood and just look, exit all them demons.
Play around if you want to. Play around if you want to. We strapped.
Oh.
So.
Real.
So Liz, have you voted, or are you going to vote and then you like gonna stay home and watch everything? Oh, girl.
Yeah, I haven't voted yet.
Have you voted yet, Meek? Did you vote early, or are you going?
Yeah, I voted early. I voted for Trump. 4 more years.
Yeah, shit. Nah.
Y'all, have y'all seen that advertisement that says Trump 8 more years, Trump 2024?
No.
Yes, it's huge.
What?
Yes. Yo, Vegas has a lot of like billboards because I never leave the house.
You don't see them on the freeway?
No. So that's the thing. When I was on the way to go to, for the Toxic Hour, I'm looking around, I'm seeing these billboards like, this is Trump's America and all this stuff.
And like, the advertising is nuts, yo. And it's crazy because it's not like how it was 2016. Yeah, he was.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
But this is like it's like on some like, it's crazy. Like it's just honestly low key. It's just like a whole nother level of disrespect.
It's almost to the point where it's like if Trump doesn't win, you got to turn up. It's almost like they're
you gotta no. They're calling people all around. Like yo, they're giving the hootie hoo. they're giving the hootie hoo. Like yo, come outside.
Oh,
yeah. Well, yeah. It's just nuts though. Like that's the reason why with certain things you know when white people try to like argue certain facts when it comes down to like the injustice or like the inequality that is within like the law and the judiciary system. It's like, bruh, do you not see how these motherfuckers are acting? This is every fucking where. They're coming. They are interrogating people at the polls, which is against the law.
Mm-hmm. So what I was thinking about doing is during election day was to go out and to kind of like support people, just to be there, just so if anybody is being ridiculous, that I could encourage people to stay in line to cast their vote. But at the same time, I have to think about myself and my child. Like, I can't just be out here like being a citizen out here, you know, just putting myself at risk when I've done my due diligence, and I'm trying to, you know, encourage other people to do the same. But I can't literally be on the front line because I have a whole lot to lose. It's just a really fucked up situation, and I cannot wait for this shit to be over. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be real interesting.
You know what? I'm gonna go to the dispensary. I know the dispensary is gonna be booming out here. Everybody's gonna be getting high on fire. on election night. So I'm gonna do that.
I ain't drunk.
Yeah. I just gotta figure out what I'm going to watch, have all my snacks, you know. But yeah. So we do have a red light special. I didn't share it with you guys because I just kind of wanted you guys to kind of just think off the dome. So for those who are listening, if you have a question for the ladies of the Crazy Sexy Cool podcast, shoot us a DM at CrazySexyCoolPod on Twitter or Instagram, or you can shoot us an email at crazysexycoolpod@gmail.com, and we just may answer your question on the show. So we have a listener in Detroit. He asks, you guys talk about being tough Sagittarius, but when was the last time you cried?
Shoot, probably a couple weeks ago. I cry when I'm on my period. I cry in the car. I get emotional, but I just don't show it. I mean, I ain't gonna let y'all see me when I'm weak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why did you cry? What made you cry? Like, because when I'm on my period, anything can like make me cry, like a fucking Pampers commercial.
Yeah, like a movie.
Does that count though? I feel like that doesn't count.
Yeah.
What?
Like crying on your period.
Oh, okay. Well, the question was when the last time we cried. So I still cried. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's like period. I mean, I could be crying like some things that I was going on in my life that I'm not okay with, or like I want to change, and then it's like it's too much pressure and I have a lot going on. So yeah, I cry in the car sometimes. I'm not just like don't have no soul, but yeah.
How about you, Meek?
Why do people have this like why is this a thing where you think that like in order to be so quote unquote strong that you're not vulnerable, or you like, or you don't tap into your emotions? I feel like that's what makes me so strong. That's what makes it easier to like take on certain issues that I deal with on a daily basis, whether it's dealing with the fuck nigga or fuck ass government. Like I'm able to like allow myself to be vulnerable and tap into that. So yes, I cry. I allow myself to fucking cry. Because if I don't, somebody's head about to get snapped the fuck off.
And I seen Meek cry for the first time, and I'm just like, we're so connected now.
Oh my God, she will not let that down. But it was a good ass cry though. It was like one of those cries like where you're triggered. So it was like over like a month, really 2 months ago, and I was just like highly triggered, and like it was just
over what? Was it like motherhood or just like?
It was some fuck nigga shit, you know what I'm saying? Like It was like, so I have abandonment issues, and I think it's like specifically with men, specifically with black men, like, and it's mainly because my father was not in my life. So like, I'm not a clingy individual, but when I open myself up to someone, and if that person, you know, abandons me, like literally abandons me, like especially in a vulnerable situation, it triggers the fuck out of me. So not only is that bad for a man to do, but specifically with a woman like me who has, that those type of triggers. Like, yeah. So once another, and I'm not trying to make this personal, because I know that there's like real good dudes out there, so like this is not towards all men, but for those that think that it's okay to just up and just leave a woman that you supposedly care for, whether it's like leaving her in a, like, getting upset and leaving her at a restaurant when y'all out, or like whether it's like a vulnerable situation where it's like, oh my God, you're doing too much and I'm gone. Like, bruh, you supposed to, as a partner or as someone that you're supposed to like as someone that's supposed to care for her, you should be there to protect her. So whether you're in the wrong or she's in the wrong, like, I feel like as a man, like, protection is a big thing. Like, if you want me to be vulnerable with you, like, you have to show that you can protect me, because guess what, I'm going to do the same thing with you. Like, right. I'm gonna have that same type of stance along with you. So yeah, I do wonder like if women who have experienced that, like whose father didn't raise them, if they have issues with that, with like abandonment and stuff. So
I can imagine so. It has to come from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Everybody has, their triggers, and that is a very common thing because, especially if it's your parent and this is someone that we've been taught, like mom and dad, these are the people that you trust. And when someone proves that they're not that person that you can trust, that is a very painful thing to deal with and come to terms with, especially when you yourself become a parent. It's kind of like, how could you
move that way? No, for sure. No, for definitely. Sure. And then also, like, because the letter mentioned like us being so tough. So, and ladies, tell me if y'all have this where like men like, oh my God, you're always so strong. Like, you never show your vulnerability. And it's like, okay, like once I do, like, are you able to handle it? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you actually able to handle it? And I'm not trying to say like, me pouring all of my weight onto you, but like, there's a responsibility that comes with vulnerability. Like, you can't, like, I'm not going to just be vulnerable with you, because guess what? If you fail, I'm going to treat you like a bitch. Like, I say
you that say this a lot.
I say that a lot, but it's because that's just how I'm set up. Like, I will never allow my guard to go down, and I'm always going to have my back. And if I'm always on the watch, I don't have time to be vulnerable and to be in tune, you know what I mean, like around you. So if you prove to me that you're not someone that can protect me while I'm vulnerable, because I'm not digressing, it's kind of a thing, but like, we got a dog named Blue, right? Anytime me or my sister or Elijah goes to the bathroom, Blue follows us to the bathroom and lays by the feet. And the reason why, like, because my sister looked it up, is because when you go to the bathroom, that's when you're most vulnerable. And when, like, dogs are in packs, like, they protect their owner. Like, that's how they, look at, like, they protect their owner when they're the most vulnerable. And it's kind of the same logic where it's like, and friends do the same thing. Like, you got to feel safe. Like, if I don't allow you to feel safe, you're not going to be like, okay, I can breathe now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. For me, the last time I cried was earlier today, but that is just honestly because grief is a weird thing, and I feel like all year we've been grieving so many different things. Like, For those who follow me on Instagram, I post a picture of Kobe and I post a picture of Chadwick Boseman every day on my page. And I came across this old picture of Kobe that I have yet to post, but something about it, he was really young. He was probably like 19, 20 on the picture. And you just never, like looking at him in that moment, you just don't see life panning out this way. For someone's life to be like tragically cut short, and then it just took me back to the day that, he passed. And then of course it was devastating, but hearing that his daughter also was with him, it just, like, I just looked at my child and I'm just like, I couldn't imagine something so devastating happening to my family. It just made me kind of weep. Like, for some reason, I don't know why, it's been since January, but today it really just like hit me in a weird way. And then, also because Chadwick Boseman has also passed away, knowing that he was a good person, like what is going on where people are living wonderful and full lives that they are just like leaving this earth. And it put me in this whole thing because, my son, he is all about the solar system and he talks about the universe and galaxies and how small Earth is in comparison to other planets and everything else that's out there. It just makes me reflect on life and realize like how small we are. And it just, I don't know, I just had a whole moment of like about human existence.
How fragile it is.
Yeah, it really is. And like how like people are dying every day. You know what I mean? Like every moment someone is literally like passing away, and how that affects people's lives and, generations and stories and history that, is just kind of coming to an end. It's just, just reflecting on life. It was just a moment today.
And the whole thing, like why it hurts so bad is simply because like relationships are so important within the human existence. And I think I think that like a lot of times, with this like vain and self-consumed, like trend that we have going right, people kind of, underestimate that or like throw that to the side, where it's like, no, those things are, we need that to survive, like to actually exist.
And so also, I lost a friend, this girl from Canada, from Toronto. Her name is V. I met her within the music world. She was a president of the Jamla fan club. And, Jamla, we all from North Carolina. We, that's our shit. But she was just like a super fan and she always supported. And she recently passed away. And I remember like just watching how her year was going. She was on this weight loss journey. She was just finding happiness. She was just really becoming really full of life in a time where, shit is really looking pretty bleak out here. So, and to get the news from one of my friends, one of our mutual friends, that she passed away, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, why are so many good people going? But then, when you think about death and why people feel the way they feel, it's because also death is just there's so much unknown about what happens when you pass away. What's really happening? What's on the other side? Like, because, people are like, oh, this person is in heaven or whatever. But, I've heard other stories of, growing up that our souls are resting until Judgment Day. Like, I've heard so many different theories and, people just, we don't know what's on the other side.
I always had this thought that what if life after death is what you make it? So it's like, if you believe in Judgment Day, then that's what your experience was, and like so on and so on. I also, it's a book that honestly changed my life. I kid you not. I was in a dark hour, woke up, and Oprah's book club was on, and she was talking about this book that changed her life. And so it's called The Seat of the Soul, and it talks about that. But the way that it speaks of it is that like our souls are like they're like their own entity, and they go through these vessels to like learn lessons, and once you've perfected the lesson, then you transcend to the next vessel. So like, you know, like that question that you brought, where it was like, well, they live such full lives, right? So like their soul, technically, you get what I'm saying? And like it's time to transcend, to go up. And it's kind of similar to like a video game, where it's like when you don't learn a lesson, that you end up repeating it. I do believe that this is practiced in Hinduism. I could be absolutely incorrect, but I believe that it's in one of those type of like religions. But yeah, it speaks of all that, and then it says like once you've mastered all of basically like the lessons, the planned lessons, then you transcend to like this greater consciousness. It was more in the book as to why it was so like meaningful in my journey. But yeah.
So that just kind of brought on a whole like cry today. But I've always been saying like I've needed a good cry, because sometimes it's just so cleansing to just get it out. Do you guys cry in front of your kids?
Yeah, I do. I allow him to, you know, to see, like, I don't get hysterical. I don't do all that, but like he'll come, and then, you know, my son, he's up on game. When it comes to reading emotions and energy, like he knows, like, so I don't hide it at all.
Me either. I used to. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I used to be like, I don't want her to see her cry, because like my mom was like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't show us her, you know what I'm saying, her weak side. And I started.
But is it really a weak side though?
And
I mean, but like growing up, like that's pretty much, you know, it was taught. Weak. Yeah, it was considered like your weak side. So yeah. And then like I think like when she got like 1, I started doing it, but she's so sweet. She come up and wipe my tears and crying. Why are you crying?
Yeah.
And I just love that, because I'm showing her that she can, you know, she could cry. It's okay to cry. We know she cried, but she can. It's okay to express your emotions wherever.
I love when Elijah has a moment. So Eli had an accident in the bed, and then, okay, this might be TMI, but it's a part of parenting. And then later on that day, he went to the bathroom and realized he didn't wipe his butt good enough. And so he was just so bothered. Like, he was like, oh my God, Mom, not having a good day. And then he started like crying, and I'm like, what is up? And he was like, no, he was like, I'm not having a good day, Mom. Like, I had an accident last night, and then I look at my underwear now, and it like, there's, you know, I'm like, babe. But the fact that he could like, you know, express that and
absolutely,
like and talk about it, and like also be honest on how that made him feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then that way I can treat it as I you know, as such, where I could be like, baby, look, it's okay. Like, you know, accidents happen, and I'll just go get you some booty wipes. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure that butt clean. Like,
yeah. So, thanks for that from our dope listener from Detroit. So, Meek, do you have a quote this week?
I do.
She got a quote, y'all.
What we
got, Sean?
So, for this week I have: where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is in organized conspiracy to oppress, rob, or degrade them, neither person nor property will be safe. And that is written or was said by the great Frederick Douglass. So I just thought that was needed for I'm not gonna say no matter who you vote for, but like during this, you know, this craziness that's going on, like I guess that's one thing that I just never understand, that made sense to me is like, how do you not see that an injustice to one is an injustice to all y'all motherfuckers? Like,
Yeah.
how do you not see that? But hey,
Right.
I mean, that's more to learn. So
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up today's show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Of course, you can catch us on YouTube. We are on the Bomb Network. So if you Google Bomb or type in the search bar Bomb, as well as Count the Dings, you will see our show, Crazy Sexy Cool Podcast, available. So thank you so much for tuning in. We will see y'all next week. Peace.
peace.